You got yours, Grandpa? Huh? Grandpa?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I was asking you like, you got yours, Steven? Steven, you on mute? Oh,
I'm on the clock, so I got my little.
Oh, okay. Hey, Uncle Hank. You live, man.
You have overcome, for I am here.
Oh, you live on the show?
I actually just wanted to jump in for a minute and say hi to everybody.
Hey, you wanna be on the show, Uncle Hank?
No, I got to get back on a phone call.
Oh, dang, man, this would have been legendary. Because my friend Steven, he reads a lot of stuff that Grandpa and like we're interested in, and like he like the alien stuff too. I was like, we could do the Ancient Aliens episode if you were staying on.
That would have been perfect.
See, now
we got one in the White House, man. I got the special glasses. I can see.
Yeah.
You know what? Now I gotta schedule you. Now we gotta have the Ancient Alien episode. We got to have the Ancient Aliens episode.
Let's make it happen.
Okay.
I was coming up to see if you had your beer, but you had
I got my beer and my glass there.
All right.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, gentlemen.
Hank that came with the celebrity walk-off. Just all right, cool. I think we're live now. Okay, cool. We're live. All right, Grandpa, you wanna? So I think we're gonna do a special today. We're doing 2 beers. Well, at least for me and Grandpa. Everyone else might have their own thing, but I found some Strohs Pilsner, the Bohemian style.
Oh yeah,
and the Strohs Light. I have never seen Strohs Light before, so we want to see just how good they are.
That's what you got me. That Strohs Light, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got you the other one too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you say you had never had none. I didn't even know Strohs made a light because they had been.
I didn't either. Like this is new, so I'm just like gotta put it out there.
Yeah.
I don't know what Steven's drinking. You know, if he wants to, you guys got a little something, but you know, we can't blow up his spot right now.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's get into it. So Grandpa, pop open the green. You got the green one? You got the bottle?
No, I got the Strohs Light.
All right, that's fine. We'll just do Strohs Light then, because you don't have the other one up here. All right, pop it open.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, man. Strohs. Wait, so people don't know, Grandpa loves Strohs. So what do you?
That's nothing but the best for me.
Nothing but the best. So what do you think? What do you think Strohs Light's gonna? You think Strohs Light gonna be just as good as regular Strohs, or you got anything?
Less calorie, more taste.
There you go.
Yeah, I was surprised though for this Strohs Light to taste like it tastes, you know. Because I had never had any before, but it's regular, you know.
It's regular.
Yeah.
All right, you give it a pre-rating.
Pre-rating? Okay, let me see what kind of head I can put on it.
All right, you got to lift it up to the camera more.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, well we can't see, but all right, cool.
Oh yeah.
You got to lift it up higher.
Give it a slight taste. What?
I say you got to lift the glass up higher. We couldn't see it.
Oh, okay.
There you go. That's
I see. Yeah,
clear.
I forgot it on TV.
Okay,
I'm gonna give it that taste.
Give it a taste. You got a pre-rank it or something. What do you think? We just rushing it there. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah. What you say?
Yeah, it's about that. It tastes like it tastes a little. It does taste watered down. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't taste like regular Strohs.
Yeah, well, you know, it's 100 calories. I think regular is about 150, so there's a little bit of
But it does taste watered down. Like I do kind of get a watery taste from it.
What did you give it?
I gave it the same as you. I mean, it's I might even give it a 5. It might go down.
No, I'm hanging into the 5.5. I might get on up to maybe a 6 or something like that. You know?
This is not as good as the Strohs we had downtown. Remember when we went to the beer?
Yeah.
They were ruining it?
Yeah. That Strohs we were drinking at the Detroit brewery though, was that weren't we drinking draft beer or did we drink out the bottle?
We had both. They gave us both.
Oh, okay, okay.
We were there for a while. We were there for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I know Uncle Pooh Bear is gonna be on here in a second. He's gonna be ready to
Yeah, he gonna come with that lousy beer, you know.
some.
Yeah.
Well, Uncle Pooh Bear, he has some good news. I'll let him talk about it if he wants to talk about it. But I think he deserves some praise on his beer selection.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if you had the other bottle, we could have rated. You know what? Maybe I'll save this one. Do you have any of these left?
I got one down there in the refrigerator. I saved it for.
We'll do this next week.
Yeah, next week. Yeah.
I'll do it next week. We don't want.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I want to be luscious. We only got so much time too. But Stroh's Light for me is a 5.
Yeah.
It might even get lower because to me it's. I've had Stroh's. Grandpa has turned me on to Stroh's, and Stroh's Light is not. It's not it. It's not, I mean, if you gotta drink a beer and it's light beer, it's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that was funny. Though Uncle Hank threw me off. I did not expect to see him. But yes, I think Steve's about to come back on in a second. But like I was saying, I brought him on because it was what was the book you just said you got done reading, Grandpa?
Yeah, what you say now?
No, what book was that you say you just got done reading?
Was it me or Hank? I mean, was it me or Pooh Bear?
You.
Freddie.
You say you just read a book.
He just got through reading the Berlin Conference of 1898 when they divided up the continent of Africa. That's what he got through just reading. But I was reading on Timbuktu.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep on. I should have been finished it, but every time I'm reading from Babylon to Timbuktu, I always divert back to I got a book by a guy named Malcolm. It's The Origin of African can't even remember.
Oh, we can't see, Steve. You gotta put up the book.
Hold on. So this is the one I'm getting ready to crack open. I haven't started yet, so I'm not gonna act like I already been reading it. But it's The Origin and Evolution of Religion. Basically coming, it's a nice little thick one. So I'm waiting to crack this one open.
Oh, okay.
And this one came back in mail. I'm gonna reread this one. I know you know that one.
I can't even see.
That's the Kabbalion that we were talking about?
Yeah, the Kabbalion. That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna reread this one a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. I've been on this one. I've been on this one 25 years. I have to go back over because every time I read something else, it takes me back, the African origin of modern Judaism. By a guy named Malcion. But it takes you back, back to the days of Babylon and Nimrod and Noah's Ark and etc. on up to present day time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, what were you telling me about on the phone? You were something you were reading that really interested you. I'm pretty sure Grandpa said he read it before or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think there's a couple now that I got like 4 books I'm reading at once now. So I got one that's on alchemy. That's just like kind of like blowing my mind away. So I can try to find that book real quick because it's over there. But I'm reading that, and then let me see, what's the other one? Another one's like a Masonic book, so I don't think that's the one we're talking about. I got the Emerald Tablet I just got that. It's a quick read, so I'm reading that right now too, which is interesting. And then one thing you say what?
What's the Emerald Tablet about?
Give me 1 second, I'll grab it. 1 second.
You ever heard of the Emerald Tablet, Grandpa?
No, I haven't.
That sounds interesting. That book you just brought out though, Grant. That's huge. How many pages is that?
Okay, I think I got my sound there.
Oh, you got your sound good? Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, cool. This dude got to close the blinds. He got too much secret knowledge, right? The
So
Emerald
it's the
Tablet.
of Hermes.
Okay, yeah, I heard it, but that's the same dude who wrote the Kabbalion, or they drew the Kabbalion from.
What was that book again?
It's called the Emerald Tablet of Hermes.
Oh, okay.
So like I said, it's a small, quick read. I'm starting. It looks like it's only like 50 pages.
Hey, we got somebody joining us there. How you doing, Freddie?
Good, good. How you doing? How you doing?
Yes, sir.
We did our. I bought Grandpa some Strohs Lite and Strohs Bohemian. So next week he's gonna
good stuff.
Gonna bust out the Pilsner Strohs, but
okay.
He did the Strohs Lite. My friend Steven's on. He's gonna be on for a little bit longer though, but
hey, Steven, how you doing?
He's interested in kind of the same book stuff that we are. He was dropping some books that I might be interested in. You said that. What was it? The Jade? Did you see what he was talking about, Uncle Pooh?
I saw the book. I didn't get a chance to read it. What was it?
It's called the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. So this is one, and then my friend recommended this one, which is the Origin and Evolution of Religion. And so basically, kind of walks through like different, just basically how everything basically came out of different countries out of Africa, like some of the practices, like how it basically morphed into like the major religions of today. So. The one thing I think, Sean, that we were talking about, so this one's hard. It's like a hard book for me to read. So I'm just like, I'm taking a little longer. It's called The Cube of Space. And it's basically about sacred geometry and basically like the cube and how the cube makes up so many different things that has to deal with like our life force, our lifespan, different materials in our life. So that's the one it's taking me a while, but my goal this summer is to have that done already. I'm about halfway through now.
Is it a lot of pages or is it just real thick content?
It's real thick. The problem is it referenced to the Kabbalah, like in the Tree of Life. So I haven't studied the Kabbalah. Like I don't know too much about like Jewish letters and the history and origin. So I have to spend a lot of time researching those topics to understand what they're talking about here. So the concepts I get. I mean, I understand how you move through it and like the tarot, like I get the concepts, but I can't tell you really like, oh, well, this picture means this. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what's taking me longer because I have to research everything as I'm going through it.
Yeah, I had a book on sacred geometry, but it was a little too deep for me. I got kind of lost trying to keep up with that. So
it's something else. That's my new favorite thing, though.
It's heavy for me. You know, I had to do some research before I could finish that book.
I know a math PhD who actually has her training in Kemetic mathematics.
Oh,
like I'm pretty sure she's like, I don't know. At least I don't know. All that's over my head, but I'm pretty sure like she's a deep sister, boy. Like man,
come on the show.
Oh yeah. Oh, she'd love to come on. She'd love to come on.
We want to know about this Kemetic math that you
Yeah. We're actually doing something together. She's creating a math course, right, based on Kemetic mathematics, and it's like she's like her thing is I can teach 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds calculus very quickly because it's all rooted in Kemetic math, right? I don't understand it at all, right? Like me personally. But she was like, once they get these concepts, because that's what calculus is rooted in, it becomes easy and understandable to them.
Let me know for that one, because I'm trying to. I got a 7-year-old up there now. We gotta get him ready.
I'll. She's going through like the test stuff. I wonder, can you get some early? But it should be ready next month. So I definitely get the information to Sean. He can pass it to you and whatnot.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, but I'll be sure to invite Asada on the show though.
Oh yeah, that's some stuff that I was. We gotta dive deep in.
I'd like to hear, because maybe it'll be awakening for me. Like I tell you, I got lost in that sacred geometry because I'm kind of weak, you know.
Oh man, Pops, we just did a interview. I interviewed her. Man, maybe earlier this week for a summit that we're doing. And boy, she was talking about traveling through Africa because she's been, umpteen times all through the pyramids, like all over the continent. just a really, really great conversation because she's seen and done so much. And she was a principal. She's a retired principal at an African-centered school here in Chicagoland and in Michigan, actually. She went to Michigan State.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy, man. So should be good conversation.
Oh,
You will love it. You will love it.
Oh, yeah.
Sean, go.
I don't know where he went.
No, he might have just dropped. All right, my bad. I hijacked the conversation. So what was y'all talking? Oh, go ahead, Pops.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I said, what you drinking?
Yo, y'all did y'all beers?
Yeah, like I told him, you bring the garbage. You know, what you drinking?
I bring the garbage.
It's expensive, but it's garbage. I don't know Budweiser. Strohs.
Right. I bring the class and the culture to the beer game here.
Oh, okay.
So this is that Bourbon County series, the beers I've been drinking, barrel-aged Bourbon County Stout. So this is a 2013 rye version. So it has stout with mulberries, boysenberries, and Marionberries, and aged in rye whiskey barrels. So this is from November 2013. So now it's almost 7 years old, so 6.5 years old. It's recommended that you drink before 5 years. So I should have drank this already.
Oh, okay. What, after 5 years, it becomes a little bit watery, diluted, or?
We're about to find out, you know. It might be delicious, it might be nasty. I don't know. But you know, I'm into aging beers, brother. So, you know, they drink differently with different levels. But this sold for about $150 a bottle.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's worth it though.
Wow.
Oh wow.
What that mean?
Oh, wow, yeah, that's good. That's interesting. It started out like smooth and like mellow, and then you thought it was gonna go like bourbon overtones, or whiskey in this case. But it comes back like real sweet on the back end. So I guess that's all of the berries. They survived, right? I didn't know that the flavor was gonna survive all the years. That's interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is good.
Oh, all right. We went beyond the 5 years, eh?
Yeah, it went beyond the 5 years. You know, I spend money on beer, but $150 for a bottle is not in my range. You know what I mean? That is that's different. So I was trying to just wait for something, but I don't know, waited too long, I guess. But it was good though. I'm enjoying it. I'll drink it. It's kind of sweet. If you don't like sweet beers, then it might not be the thing for you.
Are you still belong to that? What was a beer tasting?
Our beer group.
Yeah.
Yeah. We still the group is still around. We haven't been active with like throwing events or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Black Craft Beer Enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like to drink good beer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, what's the conversation today? What's on y'all minds? What are we getting into?
Well, I think we need to pick one there. I think
Okay.
Yes, we'll establish ourselves on the continent of Africa. What you say?
We want to say it again?
Well, I said maybe we can establish ourselves on the continent of Africa. Okay. You know, you said what we're going to talk about, what we're going to pick.
Yeah. That's interesting you said that because I saw a video today. I found a video when we were in Ghana. And we got back from Kwame Nkrumah's. You know, we were visiting. I think we did the slave because we was there a few days, and I interviewed you for about 25 minutes. I got you talking about your experience and being there. That's funny. You just said establishing ourselves in Africa. Now I got the blue for Michigan State. I just picked it up. You put the Michigan up.
Oh,
I had to. My wife went there. My little sister went there. This is where like my student loans get paid. So we on here right now. So it's cool.
We gonna rep the blue. Yeah. Go blue. I'm a Michigan fan. That's you know. We from Inkster, so right up the block.
Yeah, go.
Okay. So I have a question where you're saying about how you establish yourself in Africa. Are you talking about today, like African Americans now? Like, do we try to rekindle that relationship, or are you talking about more so like historically, like how everything basically came out of the continent of Africa, the different like, because everybody thinks like Africa is like it's just Egypt. That's like I think that's everybody's like perception, but they forget that, like that's a very small section, and there was places before Egypt. So like I want to know like kind of what in what sense are you talking about establishing ourselves in Africa?
Yeah, I was thinking in terms of historically, you know, the travel, the going back 6,000 years, they said it'd be 2, 4, up until the present day, and to see the migration from that northeast part of Africa all the way down to the west coast to the slave route, you know, that's what I, you know, basically think. I used to wonder, I was always trying to figure about when we went to Grenada, it really opened my eyes up when we were talking about the Spanish Inquisition. And I come to find out the Spanish Inquisition they were talking about us, you know. And that really kind of awoken me to the fact that, you know, then I started wanting to trace how did we get all the way to the West Coast over those, 4,000 years, you know. And so that's where I, you know, kind of I was talking about establishing, you know, the route that we took.
So Stephen, it's Stephen, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Dad and I we were going to Morocco, but we stopped in Spain and we spent 3 days in Granada, Spain. So it's southern Spain, right north of the Mediterranean Sea, and, you know, across from Morocco. And we went to the Alhambra. So the Alhambra was like the last Moorish stronghold there in Spain. So
Found the way back.
Hey, you made it back. You made it back. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Sean, that background's for you, buddy.
If you want to make that a negative reflection of yourself, you can.
But keep going.
Yeah, but no, I was just giving you some context to what Dad was saying when we were in Granada. Then we went into Morocco following that, so that was more of his puzzle.
But the Granada was really eye-awakening, you know, because all the time when I was, you know, getting about the Spanish Inquisition when I was in high school, we never even went into the non-believers until I found out who the non-believers was, you know.
That was us, huh?
That was us. They was chopping heads off.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting they say the non-believers because that just means, you know, you don't believe what we believe, which is we are superior to you. So that's what you don't believe. There was a documentary, but they were talking about the Spanish Inquisition and all of this, how it's like revisionist history in that, they wrote it afterwards, you know, to fit a narrative that they were building about who these people were and what was happening in this area at the time. It's interesting stuff.
The victors go to spoils, you know. You tell the story if you're the victor.
Man, so in the documentary, they talked about the Moors and their mathematical preciseness. This is interesting that like math kind of came up, right? But like, so Dad, oh man, I'm gonna dig up the pictures. I'm see if I can figure out how to show them on here. But remember, we were in the Alhambra, right?
Right.
So they spent about 20 minutes on the Alhambra, but they were talking about the mathematics of how it's laid out and the building structure. Like, remember we were in that, you were in that like.
Oh, like that golden thing? The golden ratio?
I don't know what it's called. They talked about it, but like they was giving out the math of how even like, so Dad, we were at that reflecting pool. Like, remember you could look across the water and it was the other side. And it was like we were inside, then we came outside. They had, what is it called? Like, like an archway, like not an archway, like
a gateway?
Not a gateway, but like you're in, like imagine you go to a resort hotel, you walk into the door, you're like in the building, and then it's like,
area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see outside, you're technically outside, but you're inside, you know what I mean? Like, so it was like that, Dad. Remember the water? the columns. Anyway, he went into the mathematics of this place, and it was like super deep. Like I gotta find that. I'm gonna find that video. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Oh, it's something crazy. So they say like in some of the pyramids, when you look at the way that they're angled, they literally reflect certain times and points through like astrological signs. And like, how did they have an understanding of the working of something so far away? Like, and I can't remember where it is. I'll ask one of my friends in my group meet, and I'll send it to you. Is that they even have depiction of Saturn having rings, but they don't have a telescope that was powerful enough to see that far. So how did they know Saturn? No other, like these other planets didn't have these rings on it. Mercury didn't have it on there. You know, and right. Venus didn't have it on there. But like they had these planets that had these rings on there. They just had a better understanding of something a little bit deeper. Like I said, the pyramids, like it's supposed to, like when the sun hits a certain angle, it's supposed to be able to illuminate like the whole entire inside and other things. Like it's just perfectly mathematically like just given. It goes back again to that shaky geometry. Like there's a whole bunch of buildings that have the phi ratio in it, and it's supposed to be something that's like close to divine. It's like divinity. Like when you put I think it's the golden ratio and the phi ratio. If you put them like together, they come so close to like once you go closer and smaller, like the intervals of it's like almost close to perfection. It's like beautiful.
That's over my head, but it was interesting.
I'm just learning. I just got peeped the game on this like a couple months ago. So I don't want to. I could say something completely wrong because, like I said, I just started reading and learning about this, and I lost it. Like they have these like circles called the I think it's like the seed of life and the tree of life. These little circles, they're like on every continent, and they're all called the exact same thing. But this is before people were traveling back and forth. But like the same symbols are like literally showing up all throughout the world, and it's literally the chemical makeup of like our human anatomy, like everything, like the computers, like books. Humans, like blood, like it's literally made up all these same like 6 symbols, and it's crazy that they knew about it back then.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta remember, like people want to gloss over the fact that Egypt is the youngest of Africa's great civilizations, right? Like the Sphinx is 10,000 years old, right? That's older than most cultures that we like you see on TV and the Discovery Channel, like the pyramids and talk like that, because they don't want, like when you go back further than Egypt, you're talking about civilizations that look more like grandpa than look like me. You know, like in terms of like the structure of how people look. And like I harped back this a few times. There's statues of the Black Madonna holding Horus all the way in Japan that are thousands of years old. Like people like there's the argument like modern day Christianity is very different than its roots. Like there's stuff in there that like they're I don't know how true this is, but I've done a little research on it. But there's supposedly some type of structure in Antarctica that's like thousands of years old. Like the name Moor doesn't just denote color. It talks about more like someone who can fare the seas. Like it's like
the navigator.
Yeah, the navigator. Like you don't get that name if you aren't a traveler. You know, like people are all over the world. Like
they act like Christopher Columbus invented sailing. They really do, man. Like
people who had 3 navigators, the Nina, the Peach, John, and Maria.
And they were Moors.
Those navigators were Moors.
They were Moors.
I mean, and they knew that route, you know, the streams that would take you across the Atlantic over to South America, you know. With, you know, you can go, you don't need no sails. You just basically you just get in the stream, man, and just float right on over, you know. Which and is coming back another path to come back on, you know. So it wasn't just you went out there and, you know, blinded.
And it's interesting because, I mean, it's not just the idea that, you know, when like Steve was talking earlier, people just think Africa is Egypt. They think Africa is one thing. Like they think like, oh, these people couldn't possibly have had the technology to design boats that could survive open ocean sailing. And then you see things like they're discovering like there's these super ships, right? Like I think somewhere in Asia or China, they made these things that look like floating fortresses, right? Like there's multiple level like ships with like cannons and stuff like that, and this stuff is thousands of years old. Like stuff that the military is using in the past 100 years, like it's been in like I would say a 2x4 form, like just all wood form from back in the day. Like only thing different between us now and then in terms of what we're doing in maritime is just that we're using harder metal. You know, like people have navigated the world's oceans for possibly hundreds of thousands of years. Like our understanding of history is almost rudimentary. Because
so I love this conversation, especially in terms of, you know, reestablishing Africa and our, you know, our Africanness, but you know, involving ourselves in Pan-Africanism really. But man, we all over the globe. You know what I'm saying? So this is, yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aboriginal Australians, they date back 70,000 BCE. Click languages go back 60,000 years. This is just some of the stuff that we've come across, right? The Limbomo bone, or Libomo bone, which denotes like the first mathematical instrument, 35,000 BC. Mm-hmm. The Zing Empire, 13,000 BC. And it goes on and on. The Berbers started at least 10,000 years, 10,000 BCE. So these are empires outside of Egypt, outside of even Africa, because the Shang dynasty was Africans. You know, you could go into India, you could go into Colombia, you could go anywhere, and you could go back tens of thousands of years, and then you find us. I mean, so like we've always been a global people.
And you couldn't even be royalty if you didn't have Moorish or African blood in you at a certain point in history. Like, you know, there's a reason why you still see castles and things throughout the world that have darker skinned people's faces in the artwork, because those were the rulers at the time. But you don't see that in a lot of history books. But people point to the out of Africa theory, and then just like, you know, then magic happened and people were different colors. You know,
magic happened, right?
No, but there's a reason. Like I didn't learn about the Moors until I came to college. Like it wasn't taught in my history books, so it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, like knowing what I know. Like it's like I'm not surprised, but like you now in this day and age, you have to be basically your own educator to your kids, because they're gonna go to school. You got to fact check. I saw in Texas, one of the Texas books said they had a picture of like some Africans coming over, just standing up, shaking hands, talking about, yeah, we'll come over here and we'll work for you. Like that's the narrative and that book is from like 2015. And I was just like, bro, I would lose it. I don't know what I'll do if my son came home with a book like that. I'll probably go up to school the next day. Like, bro, I was like, this is bullshit. Like, we can't.
He might not have that, but he got something similar. If he in that school system, he got something similar. It might not be those words. It's done in a crafty manner, but they're not teaching. They're not telling the truth. They're not doing what the Nazis did after they lost the war, and then they had to re-educate their children, right? So that's how they changed the perception of the community, of the country, is because they went to the children and they taught all the horrors that was done. They pulled up all the skirts of the empire and showed all the nastiness, and children being children are compassionate. So they grew up to have a bigger heart and then not ever want to be associated with any of that. America has never done that. They will not do that. And if you think they will, then I don't know. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it.
Like, dude, I just learned this like in the past couple of weeks. Like, so I was investigating some of Grandpa said about how when he was working in the plants back in the day that he met some dude who escaped slavery, like in the 40s, right? And
I couldn't believe this was 1950 when he told me he escaped from Louisiana going to Paris.
So like I looked into some stuff like that, and apparently there was these things called the Black Laws. Like after we were emancipated, they put on the books that no longer is a Black person a slave to a singular master. You are subject to enslavement or to work for a white person, any white person. And those laws were on the books all the way to the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Black codes, right?
Yeah, Black codes. So I mean, I have never heard that till I was an adult. Like there's never been a high school class that brought it up. Like That's wild. That's absurd. Like you hear a lot of people talk about their family. Like, we had sharecroppers in our family. Sharecropping. Not like, and not knowing, for me, I didn't understand what the context of that actually meant.
But hey, that's why these platforms that you're doing, Sean, is important. Because like I just found something out about my grandfather like last week. Like literally, I found like we have to have these conversations because one is to teach the next generation, but two, more importantly, it's a certain level of understanding of how our parents and their parents are acting. Like I found out my grandfather in World War II, his job was to go along the beach and in the area and pick up body parts and try to put them together in a body bag. So imagine doing that for even like a week. He did it for like a year.
Wow.
So like imagine coming home from that, then he literally doesn't get paid. Like he was made fun of because he didn't have a belt. You know what I mean? Like if I never had this conversation with my grandfather, I would never have a different conversation with my son. Like I don't like sagging my pants because my grandfather told me he wasn't allowed, he was made fun of and not having a belt. And I can have a belt any day I want to. I can go out and buy as many belts as I damn well please. You know what I mean? So we have to go through, like you said, we got to pull that skirt up, have that deep conversation with our kids and let them know some things are going to be really hard to change, but they have to at least have an understanding ideology that like, hey, this is where you are and you come from royalty. Like, that's what I feel now. I feel like if you're doing all this to try to suppress me, you must know that I must be like the flyest shit on earth, bro. Like, you got to know that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, real quick, come here. Say hi. Come here. We're talking about you.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, Samir, you see Uncle Sean and them.
Yeah.
But they're at home with me. But I'm saying, yeah, no, y'all go play together, but y'all loud.
Not loud.
I still got to go back to work in a second. I'm like, they be loud, they be jumping on the couch and stuff, doing kid stuff, but like we gotta share these knowledge and like your stories. So I'd love to hear more stories about what you guys did, like in Ghana and other places y'all went. Like, cause like I said, I've never been, not yet at least. But it's something I definitely want to do.
Yeah. Whenever we can go outside again.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know, at the Alhambra in Ghana there, not Ghana, but Spain, and you see some of the architecture, and you say, "What? This has been hidden. This is what we did back in that day." You know, it takes up to now to find out. You know that hey, we can do some of everything and anything.
Yeah. Hey, look in the comments. I left the link to that YouTube video I was telling y'all. So it's called "When the Moors Ruled Europe." Mm-hmm. So it's a documentary. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. I don't know. It's worth it though.
Oh, I think it was on Amazon or something.
Oh, okay. But this is the YouTube free joint. But
yeah.
But they're gonna get into that. Man, it's fascinating. It goes far beyond just their architecture, but even like Pops, you remember all like those designs, like the fabrics and the just the designs on the buildings and like the patterns that they created in Spain and in Morocco, right? Like all of that is Moorish, right? So that's like the Moorish remnants left over in the country, even in Spain and Portugal today. Like you go over there and you be at the museums and stuff, and like all of this stuff is Moorish brilliance, all steeped in mathematics, by the way. Like you gotta check out this video. It's fascinating. But talked about like their knowledge of astrology, belief that women needed to be educated, which was not a popular thing, in Europe, particularly at the time.
I laughed because I saw, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna take off in a second. But the funniest thing I saw was a meme that said the Moors walking into Spain and saying, "Y'all don't smell that?" Talking about they funky because they brought hygiene.
I love it. Wow.
Bro, I died laughing. I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing.
That was awesome. I gotta find that.
Oh, if I find out, hey Sean, if I find, I'll send it to you. I should have saved it. But it was the funniest thing I've seen because I didn't know they brought in like I think like a sewer system, education, arithmetic, like they literally brought them out of the Dark Ages. Like Europe basically came out of the Dark Ages because the Moors ended up conquering Spain.
Yeah,
And, you know,
they educated them.
this was the period too of European royalty, because a lot of those. Okay, you remember like Paul Robeson and what was the play?
Othello.
Huh? Othello. Now, when you find out, then you'll find out Othello that there was a lot of African royalty in Europe and England all over, you know. So they were descendants, you know, a lot of British royalty and stuff got some descendancy from the Moors. I mean, it's all over Europe. When you start checking people's, you know, heritage, and you find out, hey, you know, this ain't the first time, you know, that we intermixed or intermingle or whatever.
Look at some of the Queen of England's jewelry, and look at some of the faces that are on some of her pieces, man. There are black people's faces on her jewelry. There's in the art. It's like this has been there's documentaries about it. Like in the Royal Palace, there's a whole bunch of black people's imagery and all types of stuff. Like I was saying,
the Moors of King James Court.
Oh,
yeah, like I was saying, like there's.
Are y'all familiar with Cheddar Bob? Have you heard this name?
I heard of Cheddar Bob, but only from 8 Mile.
Yeah.
8 Mile. Yeah, I was like, that's why I feel like that ain't the same as what we're.
Yeah, the first Briton. Cheddar
Hmm.
Bob in the UK, up there, you know, the first, like the oldest person like in that area, 800 BC, 8,000, excuse me, BCE. But they Africans. My point, the point is like we was everywhere first, and then like at some point we lost control of certain areas. But then that's what the Moors was doing. That's why they rounded the horn and went back up there, because they was like, man, we got to lift these people up, because otherwise they just gonna be a problem.
I think it's more accurate to say that there's got to be another word to say, because like
all over Asian things, they got people.
You said Cheddar Bob. I'm sorry, Cheddar Man.
You said Cheddar Bob.
Cheddar Bob, right?
Oh, that's 8 Mile.
They look like us, but you never know it. You know, you can go China, India, Japan, all of them. There's a segment of the indigenous people who've been there. Of course, you don't see them, but they were there thousands of years before these places ever became a state, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, man, we've been everywhere. But that's why we got to teach our young people our history, though, so that they see themselves as citizens of the globe, and they're not locked into just being here in America. You know, because there's so much opportunity. This ain't the only place to get an education. This ain't the only place that has understanding. This isn't the only place that has knowledge and can give you a decent place to live in. This ain't the only place that got Wi-Fi. You know, like only place this ain't the only place that got Uber. They had Uber when we was in Ghana. We Ubered from the airport, right? From in Morocco.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy how this country got us thinking it's the only one doing anything.
Right.
You know, I just saw a post earlier, like one of my friends posted that they're talking. It was going over like they're tired of they can't speak quote unquote good English, so they'll just start speaking Ebonics. And he was talking about how that's weird that people try to downplay like you know phonetic African or African American slang when English is a commoner's language. Like it's the layman, it's the poor's language. Like back in the day when you weren't of high high esteem or an aristocrat or something, because people there's different types of English, right? And what we speak as Americans is what people might refer to as the commoner's English, right? Because we're not of quote unquote royal blood or of high standing. Like even back in the day, people spoke commoners English. They spoke like Highland or something English or whatever. There's different dialects, different tongues. So like when people try to downplay the fact that certain people can't understand, to me, it's like if you could understand, you can understand what someone's trying to say. But to play the game, to play the respectability politics game, that because you can't say a certain dialect a certain way, doesn't denote any type of intellectual difference. It just means that you're playing respectability politics. Because if you don't even control the language that you quote unquote defending, Like if you can't just say this isn't that or whatever, then you're no better than the person you're trying to downgrade.
I can dig it.
Because because American English is just slang of someone else's language. Like we're like the bastard stepchild of all the romantic languages from Europe, and those languages come from like Pan-African languages. So I don't even or Pan-Asiatic African languages. So I mean, this is just another dialect form from those other languages. I don't understand that. I don't understand respectability politics being a thing, especially in our community.
Yeah, I just flat don't engage that shit. I mean, because we ain't got time. You know what I mean? We ain't got time for these games no more. Like it's like the more educated our populace get, the more we ain't doing shit. Because we just sitting around analyzing different ways to talk about the same shit. Like you go outside and you are in trouble because you are a threat. Your children go to be educated. They sit down in the schools. They're robbed of their heritage, their history, their language, and they're given a sense of inferiority. That's the fucking problem. It's been the problem. Ain't nothing changed. I don't engage.
Well, I think it's because
that's why I don't engage.
It goes to what you just said. People get more educated. I think education, formal education as it is now, it's just a pacifier. Because people go to school and get a bunch of BS degrees that mean absolutely nothing. Because unless you're going to build off of it, you just put yourself in debt for no reason. So it's you're going to play high and mighty because you have a degree over somebody who quote doesn't have the same stuff as you. But I mean, what does that mean? What does that even matter? Like, why is that important?
Isn't that interesting though? Like, because we really like. We got degrees, so we're downplaying them, right? But like Pops was born in an era where like if you had a degree, it really made a difference, right there?
Oh yeah. Well, they make no, I mean, as far as our community, they make no difference. I mean, you were tops in the community, but outside of the community, you couldn't get a job doing nothing, That's why most of the people went to Morehouse and they went there for religious purpose, become preachers and things. But I can almost can't hardly count nobody that went there to get a job in engineering and nothing because there was no job. Even if you had an engineering degree, there wasn't nobody hired,
Well, I mean, Grandpa, didn't you like learn how to do some electrical stuff yourself? I mean, it's not like you had to get a degree. Like people don't value the fact that you can self-teach yourself a lot easier. Like people were teaching themselves back then. It's a lot easier now. Like YouTube University is a thing. You can learn how to build a computer from scratch off YouTube.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You can learn how to fix your car off YouTube. Like there's so many things.
This beer is fantastic, fellas. I'm sorry I had to interject.
Oh, see you, Stephen, man. He's heading out. Well, we'll have you back, brother, man. You're definitely a welcome back guest.
All right, brother.
But yeah, I mean, it's so much put on having pieces of paper that says that you accomplished something as opposed to like what can you tangibly show, right? Like there's I forgot what the term's called, but there are people who go to college like literally forever. They just go there, keep stacking up degrees, whatever.
Lifer, a lifetime student or something like that.
Yeah, like they just go stack up degrees. And if you want to do that, it's fine. The pursuit of knowledge is a great thing. But just harboring knowledge and things like that and doing nothing with it, that doesn't make you special. That just means that's your hobby. Like any hobby that you don't get paid for, or that you can't change the world in, or you can't, do anything with it. I mean, I'm sorry, I just described it. That's a hobby. That's not that's not tangible. Maybe I'm being too rough on it, but I mean, I don't like the fact that people will try to. I've been guilty of it when I was younger, of trying to play this game of because I know quote unquote more from a book than you, that I'm somehow better. And to pull it back to what we were talking about, like you're saying, well, there's no time for it. Like Grandpa, like when you were younger, like everyone, the doctor to the dentist to the engineer, everybody in the Black community lived in the Black community. It didn't matter what you knew, you all lived together because that was the option given to you.
Oh yeah. You know what's the awakening was in the South. We had our Morehouse, Spelman's. You go to the east and you got your Morgan States and your Howard universities. But this is where our foundation came from, out of those schools, because they were our leadership. They came out as leaders. I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm trying to say too, is that when I was working in the post office, most of the people who had degrees were usually from the South. Most of the people who usually had a skill that they could use was from the South, because evidently the labor in the South, you could do labor work. But up here in the North, you could be a bricklayer and couldn't get a job laying bricks, nor would they hire you in a school. I mean, you couldn't go into school to learn to lay bricks. The same thing was with nursing. My niece Brenda, right? I'm speaking, Freddie.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I was just saying, my niece Brenda, she had to go all the way to Harlem. All the nursing schools, she had to go all the way to Harlem to get into a nursing school. This is how things work, So when the thing opened up, basically the people who got the special skills came from the South, because over here it was like a closed shop,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they taught it in the South, and you come to the North to use it when they opened up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's just another, another plight that's been the same. It's the same, man. And I just think today, like, we just arguing and just intellectualizing. That's what's going on. We're intellectualizing everything rather than just the people need help. Like, this is just real. This is real, still real simple. This is not a difficult matter, Some folks need to grow some compassion. You can spend your time trying to talk compassion into people if you want, or you can show compassion towards your people and start to help. That's what we got to do.
Man, it's 100%. But I mean, we gotta wind this one down. I got a meeting in 5 minutes, but this is another great episode, fellas. Grandpa,
Yeah.
you're looking swell.
I noticed everybody seemed to be working out, what I'm trying to say, like everybody working at home, just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I noticed what's going Hank is here, and he working. I don't think you don't need no place no more. You just take your work with you. Got your laptop, and you're in business.
You're in business.
Hey, Uncle Pooh, we're going to have to. I told Uncle Hank we're going to schedule an episode and bring him on, do an Ancient Aliens episode.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah. He got to get up.
You watch Ancient Aliens?
No, I don't watch it. I don't watch it, but I will.
No,
you gotta get up on Ancient Aliens, man.
What is it on?
I think you still find on the History Channel, Discovery Channel, one of them.
Ancient Aliens. All right, I'll pull it up.
Aliens is some serious stuff. But you want to sign off, everybody, real quick? Give a quick sign off. Something you might want to plug or say or whatever.
Well, I'll say on my regular salute day.
You don't do the flashcards up. You might as well flash a box or something.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah. That we can do that. This is so that I've been quoting and calling from volume 4 of our flashcards, our Black History flashcards. So that's what I've been doing. This is volume 4, before 1492. So it starts about 35,000 years ago and comes up to 1492.
Do I have it?
Yeah, you got them all. The one with the green top is the one I've been pulling from.
I gotta get that. That's hot. I gotta get the hotness, man. I don't have the newest version. I'll have to go to the website and purchase it.
Yeah, urbanintellectuals.com. There you go.
That's Uncle Pooh sign off. Buy his merch so we can support our beer habit.
So we can $150 a bottle, man. Come on, man. We need some help.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was a cheap one. It was last week was $250.
Okay.
We going down after this now.
we can't sustain these high numbers of alcohol, y'all. We gotta support the habit. So Grandpa says salute. Don't forget to get volume 4 of Urban Intellectuals flashcards and all the other products. Just buy Cash Mob it if you can. So We'll see y'all next week. I don't know if we'll have the Ancient Aliens episode next week or not. We'll see. It all depends on who we can all grab. But thank you all. Have a great week. See you guys.
Bye. See you later, Pops.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah.